I am coming on today with something that was like mind blowing for me, right? Because I have a lot of chats with new entrepreneurs, and me being one of them, right? Well, not new to having businesses, but the reason like a lot of young entrepreneurs get into business is that they actually want freedom, right? And so once you get out of the job and you leave the job and you have the freedom, it's like, oh my God, I have freedom to do what I want now. What do I actually do with my time? I saw a friend this morning for coffee and we started chatting about having freedom and freedom of time and what that actually means, right? So being an entrepreneur does not mean that you have freedom of everything, right? You still have to work within the systems of the world. So I actually took the time to look up the definition of freedom. And what I found was that I never really fully understood the word freedom. So I'll read out to you the definition of freedom that I found on Google. The power or right to act, speak, and think as one wants, absence of subjugation to foreign domination or government, the power of self-determination attributed to will, the quality of being independent of fate or necessity, the state of not being imprisoned or enslaved, the state of being unrestricted and able to move easily, unrestricted use of something, and the state of not being subject to or affected by something undesirable. So when I read that, I was like, holy crap, like I didn't realize that freedom was such a powerful word. And a lot of the times when we think of entrepreneurship, we're like, oh my gosh, we have freedom. And then we actually get into entrepreneurship and realize that we actually have contracts with the people that we serve. So we're actually not as free as we originally thought. So all of these products and services that are marketing based on freedom, right? That people actually start doing it and they're like, I actually don't feel as free as I thought I would. So in turn, once you start to actually build the business or build your life how you want to, really freedom is not freedom from structure, not freedom from government, right? Because we all have to live in those social constructs or we go to jail, right? So how do we live in those while also being free? And your definition according to your location can be different according to the experts in the, okay, cool. Yes, so if you value one thing, the definition for you is going to be very different. So what does freedom actually mean to you is really important. For me, it was freedom of my time. Freedom of my time. And I actually looked up the 4 freedoms that entrepreneurs start a business for, right? It's freedom of time, freedom of money. So, freedom of time means doing the things that you want when you want to do them and being able to live a full life and pursue other interests, right? It's not just freedom of time to do whatever the hell we want. It also means freedom of purpose, which is really, really important. So, yes, freedom of time to pursue your purpose. And your purpose is something that you actually choose for yourself. And sometimes that's really scary, right? Because we're like, oh, what's our purpose? And in reality, your purpose is anything that you want it to be. Your purpose is something that you design for yourself. Nobody designs your purpose for you. If you feel it in your heart, if you feel it in your soul and you want to pursue it, you also have to have freedom of money, right? You have to be able to smash through glass ceilings. You have to be able to sustain your own company. You have to be able to support and provide for your needs. And then there's also freedom of relationships. So whether it's relationships with your clients, relationships with your chosen loved one, right? It's certain people that you love working with both inside and out of your business. So freedom of relationships also means that you can choose who your clients are. which is how you actually sustain your energy. It's how you remain in the passion for what you do for business or life or career, right? So if, for example, you're choosing a career, it's really important for you to define what kind of company you actually want to work with. What are their values? Um, with relationships, you have to get very clear on what do you want. And if you want something, but you are not that. So, for example, I actually had a meeting with someone last night and they're like, oh, I just want to be with someone who smashes out goals. I'm like, cool. Like, what's your goals? What are you smashing out? And they went blank. They actually didn't have any goals for themselves. So a goal getter also wants a goal getter, and that's how you meet and smash out goals together. You can't have a goal getter and then someone who doesn't have any goals, and for them to be in this symbiotic relationship, right? So that has a lot to do with your clients. And I had a client message me and say, Christine, you're probably watching, but as she went through the client documents that I actually give to my babes in the Biz Babe Academy, is that they realize that their clients are actually them. And that was a really big realization when I started going through the process of building my brand is, yes, you want to work with people. You want to work with people that are like you, that are a reflection of you, because that's how you meet and you create this relationship. So if you want to create a relationship with your client or a significant other or whatever relationships you're trying to create, that you have to understand also that right there, you have to become how this person is as well. So if you're reaching for something more, if you want to change your life, you have to look at those people and say, what are they doing differently? And how can I also do that, right? Because we don't want, like, goal getters don't want to be with someone who's living on the couch in someone else's house, right? So if that couch surfer wanted to be with a goal getter, then they also have to kind of readjust their life and become who they want to be in order to meet these people. So what we are, we attract. Okay, and I want to just talk a little bit about away motivation and towards motivation. So when somebody, for example, wants to leave a job and they're like, I am so done with this job, it's good because it gets you away from the things that you don't want. But as soon as you leave that situation and you're like, I actually don't know what to do with my time now. There's no motivation and it's all procrastination, right? So you have to find what works for you to actually get toward motivated to what you actually want. And that's why it's really important for you to get very clear on where you want to go next. What did you release back then? And now, where do you want to go next into the future? What's next? You create that. You create that. So a lot of people, like I was watching a live this morning from a person that I really respect, and they were talking about investments, right? Investments in yourself. And she talked a lot about people who just kind of dabble in moving forward. So that was actually me. I kind of dabbled in moving forward. I was like, ooh, I'll spend money here, I'll spend money there. And I never really took a big step in investing in myself. And what happens is like normal people will come up against blocks, right? They'll come up against fears that they need to overcome. A lot of people do not overcome their fears or take a step back and look at their life and what they actually want out of it, right? So for me, I was like, so in order to be a successful coach, I really don't want to do the work myself. And if I I got on a website and I got like these worksheets that were already done from somebody else. They specifically give like, here's like a pre-made coaching course, right? And so I bought it for like, I don't know, $400 or $500, and I got into it, and it was nothing like what I wanted to present. It was all generic information that didn't mean anything to anyone and it didn't even resonate with me, right? And so I dabbled. I'm like, $500, it will give me what I want. And then I realized that nah, it's not actually going to give me what I want because I keep investing in these smaller things because I don't want to do the work myself, right? And so therefore I kept hitting a brick wall. And as so many people do, they're not willing to get past the fears and the blocks, right? And that comes with money as well. Is like I was like I didn't want to invest in the financial side of things. And then the second that I was like, you know what? Actually, I'm so tired of living this way. Like I've worked with a relationship coach in the past because I was tired of not having good relationships, right? And I've worked with a few business coaches and some leadership coaches because I wanted to learn how to do things that worked, right? And I couldn't do them if I didn't have somebody else teaching me how to do them. So dabbling and making little choices here and there does not work if you want to have big, extravagant leaps of success, right? You have to make an investment in yourself and in your relationships and in your life if you want to continue to grow as a person. And the way that we learn most easily is actually being around and consulting with people who really have your back and that also help you grow as a person. We don't want to be stuck in who am I hanging out with now and how can they fulfill me? Because they probably won't. We'll probably try and force them into fulfilling us when really in actuality, they're not going to. It is not their job to fulfill us. It is our job to go out and find the people that fulfill us, whether it's your client, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job or a career. It is our responsibility to go out and find those things and then find the people that will help us get there, right? Um, so in the Biz Babe Academy, that's what we work with people on is how do we let go of that old stuff that's holding us back and how do we create this new life for us? It's passionate. It's like we are not in this life for no reason, right? We need to take care of ourselves. We need to invest in really good relationships. We need to invest in our career because as much as we want to believe that our career has nothing to do with our personal life, it has everything to do with your personal life. What you show up and work to do every day for your purpose, you choose. Like you can let other people choose for you or you can choose yourself, and that is freedom, right? That's what we all strive, well, most of us strive for, is having the freedom to choose for ourselves what we actually want to do, right? So anyway, enough of my rant. I hope you all have an amazing day and we'll see you soon. Bye.